I just love that voice. Isn't that voice great? I'm gonna make her my GPS voice. All right, guys, we are gonna do DocuSign. I guess we call it DocuSign 201, which is some of the advanced techniques that you can do with DocuSign, and to make things a little bit easier. So some of it's gonna be hands-on, but a lot of it, I just wanna show you guys some stuff, if that's cool, okay? And then it's not really going to be a follow along. It's I want to show you how you can do some different things to keep yourselves organized. And I'm going to use a few of my opportunities to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So first thing, let me get into one of my opportunities here. Now, this is a listing opportunity that I have. Let me find one that I want here. And I'm just going to get in and I'm going to go to the transaction, which is going to open up DocuSign. Oops. Okay, and we are in the room. Now, anytime you put anything into the room, it goes under this folder that's called Room Docs. Okay, so no matter how you get it in there, whether you drag it and drop it, whether you look for it, I'm going to actually show you how you can email docs directly into DocuSign, which is really convenient. It always goes into this folder here that's called Room Docs. Now, the problem with that is, for example, in this folder here, you can see I've got 28 documents that are there. It's quite a bit. Where I run into issues trying to keep track of this is on the command side when I go to put the documents in, right? So here I am, I've already got documents, but I'm just gonna say I need to grab something here. Hang on a second. So let's say I needed to grab, I'm just gonna use the addendum for example. Let's say I needed to upload from my DocuSign my document. So if I click on add a file from DocuSign, I have got to figure out of all 28, what the heck one that I need to put in there. So think about it for a listing. When I list a property, I have a few items that actually get duplicated when I get an offer on the property. I have an agency disclosure, correct? Well, when I get an offer on the property, now I've got the buyer's agent's agency disclosure. I have a seller's disclosure that I have my seller fill out. Well, now I have a seller's disclosure that the buyer acknowledged, lead-based paint. So it gets a little bit confusing. So the easiest way to organize this is I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go into the Mickey Mouse that we did the other day. And here's our Mickey Mouse. Get back into my DocuSign room. And here you see I have a little bit less, but you can see how many you can end up getting in here. So if I want to turn documents in, and let's say this was a listing or a sale, and I finally have bottom line documents, what I'm going to do is everything that you put in always goes into Room Docs. So I'm actually going to go up here and I'm going to click on Actions, add a folder, and I'm going to call this my pending folder. Okay. Now I've got another additional folder that's there. Think about some of the folders that you can have in here to keep yourself organized. If it's a listing, everything goes into Room Docs. Then I get all my listing paperwork signed. So if I've got the ones that I need, maybe I have a listing document folder. Then I get an offer that gets accepted. Now I have a pending folder. This offer dies. I still need the documents to keep track of everything. All I have to do is come over here and I can rename it to that deal. And then at that point, I get a new deal in. I can go ahead, add the folder, and this is my new pending folder. Does that make sense? Okay. So now once I've created my folder, you can actually drag and drop these documents in there. It's a little bit messy to do that. The easiest way that I found to do that is, okay, I know that this is my signed purchase agreement, so I need this one. I'm going to select that one. Here's my seller's disclosure, and I'm just going to grab this agency. And these are the three that I need to turn into the market center. Once I select them, I'm going to select move to folder in the current room to my pending folder. Don't lie to me here. Here we go. So now they are in the pending folder. Now back to command, guys. I'm going to turn these documents in. So from command, let me go down to where I was before, a blank one. Let's just say I need to add this file here, add a file from DocuSign, just like we did before. However, I'm going to select the pending folder. That makes sense. See how much easier it is to do it that way, guys? That is going to save you so much time figuring this stuff out, okay? The next thing that we want to look at in DocuSign is once you get a purchase agreement in, I think we went over this before, but I want to reiterate, you can split those documents up, okay? So once we're in here, let me find one that I've got here. I had one that had a bunch of them in here. Let me see here. Here we go. I've got 13 pages here. If I've got something, remember in command, everything has to be individualized. So once I get my bottom line purchase agreement back, it's probably in one PDF. At this point, I'm going to come in here, click on it. I'm going to go to document actions, and I'm able to split that document into what I want. Now, when you split it, it's just what you want to name it. So just for simplicity, so we can tell the difference, I'm just going to put a number 1 here. Seller's disclosure statement is 1, 2, 2. I'm just going to do a couple of them here. And then I'm going to say 1 PA is from, I just hover over if I don't know what it is, from 5 to 11. And that's all I want to do. So I'm going to click save. The part that I don't like is anything that you do, remember, it dumps it into the room docs. So even if I'm splitting a document in this pending folder, it's still going to dump the splits into the room documents. So you got to kind of figure out how to do it from there. So from there, I can go ahead and I'm saying, okay, well, these are the 2 that I've got to take there. I can do the move like I did before, or if it works, I can go ahead and drag them up into it like that. Okay. Sometimes it's a little funky when it comes to the drag. All right. Everybody with me on that one? All right, cool. Now let's talk about what I'd like you guys to do is part of the hands-on is if you already created that Mickey Mouse pipeline or any opportunity that you have, I want you to go to the transaction and open up the DocuSign so that you're on that room. Okay. Just so we're getting into DocuSign. Remember, you can log into DocuSign directly, but I always advise just go through command for everything. It just makes more sense. Now from here, a couple of things that I want you to start being aware of is every room has a room ID number that's right here, okay? By knowing what this number is and copying it, you can essentially forward documents from your email and they will dump automatically into the room. Every DocuSign has an email address. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to customize yours if Al can remember how to get to that part. If I can remember, right? So if you click on your name in the upper right-hand corner of DocuSign, go to Preferences, I hope. I think we're in the right spot here. And then on the left, you're going to see Inbox Details. And it's Inbox Email, and it's probably a bunch of gobbledygook there. You can edit that. I just edited mine to Albert, just so I know. So really, my DocuSign email address is albert@mail.docusign.net. That's my email address. So you guys can go ahead and edit that inbound email to whatever you want for the first part of it and save the changes. And let me write that down so I remember what it was. Now, if you email anything to that email address directly, it will show up on the top in your inbox. Why they have that here, I don't know, because I like to bypass that. But what I wanted to show you is once you're in your inbox, if you also notice next to the email that you've created, you also have a fax number. So you actually can fax documents to your DocuSign as well. I mean, think about if you're dealing with probate with some of the courts, they still use that kind of stuff, all right? Yes, totally free. Yep, everything is free here. So now I'm going to go back and let's have everybody click on rooms. And the last room that you were in should be in the upper left-hand corner there. So I'm just going to click on that to get back into the room. And we have our ID number that's at the top. So I'm going to actually open up my email and show you how this works live. Thought I had it here. Let's see. Home. Okay. So here is an email that I scanned to myself on a document that actually has to go into a DocuSign room. So don't do this. I'm going to go ahead and get into the correct room that I want to do it. So I'm going to get into this room here. And it's this one here. Just so we can kind of show you how it rolls live. And what I'm going to do is, and imagine if this was an email from a listing agent or a buyer agent or anything, you can do this with anything, is I'm going to go ahead and click on the email and I am going to go to forward. And if you're using Gmail, this is where you've got to kind of pay attention. So I'm going to email this to my DocuSign email, which is albert@mail.docusign.net. And then what I have to do, the little trick with the emails in Gmail is you click on this down arrow and you click on edit subject. Now in the subject line that shows up here, you basically just delete this out. And what I want to actually put in the subject line is this DocuSign ID. So I usually just copy this ID, go back to my email, paste it, and that's really all you need. So I'm going to send it. And it usually takes a few minutes to pop up into the DocuSign room. And it would show up under the room details. So let's see, just so we can keep track, we've got 28 documents in this room. We'll see how long it takes to get over there. That's the first thing that you can do with your PDFs. Okay, so it has to be a PDF to be able to get it into the room. Like I said, it takes a few minutes. We're going to get back in and we'll be able to see it. The second thing that you can do with this is, let's say you've got a kind of a difficult client. All of us tend to save our emails and our Gmails and everything else, but if you want to have a paper trail of everything that you've emailed to that client, what you can do is actually, I can do the same thing. So I'm going to go here, click on here. I'm going to forward it to the DocuSign. I'm going to edit the subject. I can put the DocuSign room here, but then I can also put hashtag PDF. What that's going to do is that is going to create a PDF out of this email and also save that into my DocuSign room. So you got those difficult clients, you want to keep track of that stuff. That's the best way to do it. Like I said, it's not the fastest thing about getting in there, but at least it does it, especially if you're on the road or something, you know what I mean? So now if you guys see 29 docs are there, right? So we're looking for the first one that we just sent. Probably should have paid attention to what the heck it was called. Here it is here. So there was the agreement that I need. Here's the name that's there. So that actually showed up. So like I said, it takes a couple of minutes, but that's the quick, down and dirty, easy way to just email forward your PDFs right into there. That's pretty convenient, I think. Don't you guys think? All right. And like I said, in a few minutes, we will also see the PDF itself show up as 31. So I am looking for it. I'm sorry? Oh, good call. Added newest. There we go. Now here is my email that I forwarded over. Okay, so you can kind of see how that works as well, or we can forward that stuff as well. All right, so we've got that. The next thing that we're actually going to do in DocuSign is I want to show you how to create static templates. Okay, so this is going to also make your lives a lot easier. Excuse me. Let me get back into my Mickey Mouse here, guys. I have 2 listings under contract right now, just as a side note. Those listings did not even hit the MLS. 2 off-market properties. Properties are out there, guys. You just got to go and find them for your buyers. All right, so now we've got our Mickey Mouse here, and there's a couple of things that I can do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of this purchase agreement to kind of show you how this works. So when I go to add a form from DocuSign, and it's the buyer package, and let's say I'm doing the purchase agreement, here it is. When I select my purchase agreement that I need to add, it gives me an option because I have templates already built out. Excuse me. I could just add it like this, which I'm going to do first, or I can apply one of the templates that I have built out, which is cash buyer or FHA buyer. Okay, so let me take us through this whole thing. I'm just going to add it without a template to show you what it looks like. When I click on the purchase agreement, this is some of the information that's there that I've already typed out, okay? Now, when I change this, Let me get back into it, sorry. Click the wrong button, I always do that. Now when I go through, I have this one set up as a conventional mortgage, all right? So a couple of ways that I can actually change some of this. So if I actually brought this in as just a regular, don't do anything to it. If I right click on it, I can actually apply the template if I've already created it by clicking on it here, and it's going to apply the template. The easiest way is to apply the template right when you're bringing the things in, but I wanted to show you guys all of that. So in a perfect world, it's going to apply that for me. And it has changed this to the FHA mortgage because that's my FHA template, okay? Now this doesn't seem like a lot, but when you bring in a purchase agreement, it actually has like your name, maybe it'll pull in your phone number, maybe your email, and a lot of this other stuff you still have to fill out, which on a purchase agreement, yeah, it's not too bad, but I want you to think bigger. I want you to think about when you have a listing, how about the My Real Source data sheet? A lot of the same information that you type over and over and over again is what you have there. So now let's go ahead and teach you how to do these templates. So from DocuSign, on the very top, you're going to go to My Docs. Now from here, it says personal forms and form templates. You're going to click on form templates. And you probably don't have anything there. That's what I'm assuming, correct? Okay. So upper right-hand corner, you're going to create the form template. And I always select the form from the group. It's the easiest way to find it. And what are you looking for? Well, give me something from the buyer package. And just so we're doing the same thing, let's look for the purchase agreement. So we'll click on the purchase agreement and we click on use. So it should say, what does it say? It gives you, what's the, let me see what it says on the top. Did I skip something? Oh, no problem. So you have to click on continue without that, and it should never do that again for you. Yep. So now here's where you can start pre-filling in this form and typing in your information here. The first thing that I always tell everybody to do is in the upper left-hand corner is to change the name of this template. So if you see that little pencil there, you're going to click on that little pencil and you're going to call this purchase agreement template or whatever. Okay. Now let's take a couple of minutes and fill out your information here. Keep in mind that anything that you fill out in this will override anything in the system. Okay. Yep. So we're going to do Keller Williams Lakeside. Selling agent. Me. Agent ID, which I can never remember because they changed them all on us. Office ID 2244158. Email. Phone. And when you're doing these form templates, guys, fill out information that is common. Okay, so for example, I'm not going to check any of the appliances because I don't know if that's going to apply at that time. This information is static information that I know is going to apply. So I'm going to make sure that that's there. Little things that you can do, like here, cash sale with new mortgage. We can do that kind of stuff. You can put that in there and make different templates to make your lives easier. So for this particular one, just click on cash sale. And I'm actually going to change the top here. I'm going to rename it because I already have one. I'm going to say one for me. You guys just say purchase agreement, cash template. Okay. Oh, and I forgot you, when you change the name, you've got to click on the little green checkbox on the upper right-hand corner. Okay. So I know that that's a cash sale. And I can kind of go through here and see what they plan on using. If you do use first premier title, usually you don't with a cash, but you can pre-check that. Just the little things that we want to do. Most of the time, you will get a seller's disclosure in a lead-based paint. I can have that already pre-done. I can type my name in there if I wanted as the witnessing. So it's already there. You get the idea, right? Okay, so now I'm going to save and close. So now you did a whole bunch of typing just for a cash one. So if you wanted an FHA one or a VA one, you don't have to retype that whole thing. So here is my template. You guys should have one that's saved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go copy. Everything that I did for the cash template is there. They name it copy. I'm going to do right off the bat. I'm going to change this and I'm going to call this FHA. Save that new name with that green box. I'm going to go down here and change that. I missed it. Where did I miss? Here we go. I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to check that. Being able to secure an FHA mortgage in the amount of blank blank. Apply for it within 5 days, 45 days. Everything else I had was pretty much the same. Save and close. So see how easy it is to duplicate that stuff? So now when you go ahead and you're going to have that option. Now when you bring in documents into DocuSign, if it is a purchase that you're doing, you're going to have that drop down bringing in that document that says apply that particular template. Okay. All right. We good on that so far? Now, the last thing that I want to go over is if you're doing electronic signatures, you know, it'll go to their email. DocuSign does give you the ability to do in-person electronic signatures. So if you are actually sitting across from somebody, you could actually do that on your iPad or things like that. Okay, so I usually don't. So I'm going to get in and we're going to attempt this. I did pretty good though. I remembered the last thing, right? We got that. All right, so I'm in my Mickey Mouse here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the transaction. What's that? Well, here's the thing is the way that it flows is depending on the order that you have set up, it'll say Al sign. And then when I'm done, it'll say, okay, pass this to Jovan. Okay, pass this to Sarah. That's how it flows. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a form. We've got this left here. So I'm going to grab this, send it out for an electronic signature by creating an envelope. I'm going to name this. I'm just going to say in-person signing 123 Main. I'm going to add my recipients like I normally did from pre-tagged roles. So we're going to do I think we did a buyer one on that. So this is a buyer. I'm going to do my buyer was Mickey Mouse, and my buyer agent is me. Going to add selected. I'm going to put the order that I want it in. So I'm just going to say 1 for Mickey Mouse, 2 for me. And then what I'm going to do here is actually click on, instead of going, well, I'm sorry, we're going to go to the next part like we normally would. Make sure our signatures and initials are in the right spots for everybody. There's me. There's our buddy Mickey Mouse. Get rid of this. Now from here, instead of sending it, I'm going to click on Actions and do Save and Close. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, so you can prepare the documents ahead of time, okay? Now when I'm meeting with the client, I'm going to get back into DocuSign like I did, but I'm going to click on my name and I'm going to actually go to switch to e-signature. Got it. Yep, got it. Got a whole bunch of pop-ups that are going there. Then I'm going to go to Manage. Go to the drafts. From here, I got to remember how to do this. I'm going to hit Continue. And then I got to find the button that says change to in person. Where was that? They moved it on me. Aha, right here. So by the person's name, in-person signer, in-person signer. Sucks that you've got to go through all those steps to get to it, but at least you've got it there. Then I go to next. Oops. Host name is yourself. So that's saying that you are physically there with them. Then I go to next. Please sign Mickey Mouse. We're going to hit send. Do you want to sign this document now? Sign now. And I'm going through because I was the one to be the first one. Pass control of the session to Mickey Mouse. You guys see that? So now I'm handing it to my client, Mickey Mouse. Continuing. They're going to go through and sign on your iPad or on your computer, whatever you've got. Finish. And if they wanted a copy of it, they could get a copy of that. Continue. And there it is. So if I had a Mickey Mouse and a Minnie Mouse, then it would give me another pop-up that said, now pass it to Minnie Mouse. Okay. Now you can think about how you could really utilize this as far as splitting the signature. So think about this. Maybe I've got a dad and a daughter. Dad is ancient. He does everything in person. Daughter's out of state, but she's on the title. I could really set it up to meet dad in person, have him sign with the in person, and when he's done, it fires off electronically to the daughter. Does that make sense? Any questions? I said today wasn't a long class. It was just about, hey man, here's some tricks and tips that are going to make things faster for you. You guys get any ahas out of this? Templates. It's huge, isn't it? Yeah. Templates are huge. That's a big thing that you could do.
Do you mind telling me where do I get that?
So once you're in DocuSign, let me get back into it here.
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's what we're here for. So just get to DocuSign through any room, it doesn't matter. Then in the upper top, it says My Docs. Then you're going to click on Form Templates, and that's where you can create them. Okay? So now to actually implement those form templates, you've got two different ways to do it. You can, from your room, let me get it back into the room. You can, oops, get into my documents here. I'm all backwards. Add from DocuSign, and let's just say I'm doing the buyer package. And oh, I already got a purchase agreement, so let me do this. Hang on, let me get into listing. Add from DocuSign. Let's do listing package. And let's see which one I have. Is, do I have this one? I do. Okay. So the exclusive right to sell. And once I checked on that, if you notice, if I've got a template, it'll give me this white box. And that's my exclusive right to sell. Purchase agreements, it would give me the drop down, cash, conventional, FHA, VA. So that's the easiest way, is when you're first doing your documents, do that. If you forget to do that and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to do that. Or let's think about a buyer. Maybe you got a deal that didn't go through and they were FHA and then they got approved conventional. Now I can take my buyer form that I've already filled out before, right click on it, apply the form template and change that. And it does my updates right there for me. Okay. Make sense? So you're going to do the second one. Yep. And then go to, or I'm sorry, no, do the group, and then go to purchase package or whatever it says. There's a buyer package. There you go. And now pick that purchase agreement and you can do your first one. Yeah, so for me, the templates are a big one. Email, getting stuff from the email. I think that that's great just to get it in there, especially if you're on the road and you're on your phone or something. You pre-save your emails, you can actually get them dropped in there. That's it. I got nothing else for you. That is, but you have to take the first.